Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday's edition of Yesterday in Baseball. My name is Luke, and today we've got some World Series action for you. It's October the 27th, and we have two games to recap from this weekend, Game 1 and 2 from the World Series, and we have Game 3 tonight as action resumes. Some big scoring, some great pitching, all of that. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a good time myself. It was a busy one, so I must confess I watched a lot of these games just on my phone on MLB TV. So I'm excited for some of these games this week. I can sit down on the couch, relax, and really just enjoy some of this World Series action. Today we're going to keep our news and notes, so we're going to do a couple of those, dive into the recaps from Game 1 and 2, talk about the series as a whole, get you ready for Game 3 tonight, and hit our Player of the Day. So without further ado, let's dig into it. Starting off out of Baltimore, the Orioles are signing Craig Alberniz to be their manager next year. The 42-year-old was previously the associate manager with the Guardians, and from everything I've heard, it seems like a great signing and highly sought after. Bo Bichette didn't start Game 2, but rather came in later in the game. That'll be something to monitor, as his injury may be more prominent than we thought. Not a ton of news and notes today, so we'll hop into Game 1. Game 1 of this World Series started off in grand fashion with the Blue Jays taking down the Dodgers 11-4. There was an early chance for Toronto in this one as they had the bases loaded in the first, but they came up short. However, they did a good job all night of working Snell's pitch count up. In the top of the second, a Kike Hernandez RBI single knocked in the first run of the series as he put the Dodgers up 1-0. In the third inning, Will Smith knocked in an RBI single to make it 2-0. The Jays didn't stay down for long though, as Dalton Varsho hit a clutch 2-run homer in the bottom of the fourth to tie it up at 2-2. After that inning, Trey Yesavage was pulled as he had a solid outing against a lethal lineup, as the kid that started the year in Single-A went 4 innings, giving up just 2 in Game 1. Great performance. The table was set for the Blue Jays in the 6th though, as Snell loaded the bases for Toronto. He looked like he was far from his best in this contest, but Ernie Clement kept the line moving with an RBI single to make it 3-2. A Nathan Lucas walk that he drawed from Emmett Sheehan made it 4-2. Then an Andres Gimenez single made it 5-2. Setting the plate for Addison Barger, who became the first player in World Series history to hit a pinch hit grand slam, making it 9-2 Toronto. That wasn't even the end of the inning, as Alejandro Kirk tacked on 2 more with a homer of his own, making it 11-2 Toronto and completing a 9-run 6th inning. Just amazing. The Dodgers responded with an Ohtani 2-run shot, but it wasn't enough. Eric Lauer came in to finish this one off as the Jays got the win 11-4 and took a 1-0 series lead. Now as we go on to Game 2, the Dodgers had the chance to answer right back, and they did just that thanks to a stellar pitching performance as they got the win 5-1. Will Smith got the party started in the top of the first as an RBI single set the tone and got LA up 1-0. From that, Yamamoto escaped a 2-on no-out jam to keep LA in the lead 1-0. Both starters were cruising into the bottom of the third when a Vladdy single and a Alejandro Kirk sac fly helped even things at 1. Not much more action in the middle innings though, as it was a pitcher's duel through and through. In the 7th inning though, Kevin Gausman began to unravel as Will Smith crushed a solo shot all the way up to the second deck to put the Dodgers up 2-1, and then a Max Muncy homer, another solo shot, made it 3-1 and helped LA pull away. The Dodgers added on 2 more in the 8th with a wild pitch and a Will Smith RBI ground out that made it 5-1. That's where this one landed. On the pitching side, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has just continued to make history. He made it through the 9th inning and closed out the game, throwing a complete game in back-to-back starts. An incredible feat, in general, but to do it in the postseason no less, and at this day and age, just truly impressive. His final line was 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. He retired his final 20 batters, helped the Dodgers secure the 5-1 victory and tie the series at 1. Overall, after 2 games in this series, it's looked very competitive. I kind of fault myself for saying that this was a David and Goliath. I mean, the Dodgers are obviously just a super team, and the Blue Jays aren't quite that, but they're not quite, your Milwaukee Brewers, who's kind of a Cinderella story. But overall, I've just been amazed at, how competitive Toronto looks. I know their offense has been good, and yes, they got shut down by Yamamoto, but Yamamoto, he's just been cruising this postseason. I really do expect, though, this series to maybe go 6 or 7 now. But in game one, you had that big offensive outburst. And for the Blue Jays, I think that's just going to be your key to success. And I said that earlier on, is just getting to that bullpen. But watching game one, I was really impressed with Toronto's at-bats. You know, they weren't getting a ton of results very early in that game, but they were working the count up on Snell, trying to chase him from that game, and they were doing a great job. Game two, they just had no answer for Yamamoto, as he was just cruising to finish that game. LA's offense has looked about as good as I thought. 4 to 5 runs a game seems about right. I think they absolutely have the potential for those big kind of explosions like we saw from Toronto. So I hope it kind of keeps up the way it's going as of now. I know their game has been like a late thriller exactly, but they've been competitive games, both of them, and just kind of had big things late that slid the result one way or another. So overall, I was excited last year for, the clash of the Titans with the Yankees and the Dodgers, but this year I feel like it's already been a much better product and more entertaining just as a neutral fan. So that's just my general thoughts of the first couple games, but now let's check out our player of the day, our top performer from the weekend. It should come as no surprise that someone just out here making history is going to be our player of the day and our top performer. Yoshinobu Yamamoto went and balled out as he went 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts to a plus 35.3% win probability added. Like I said, he retired the final 20 batters he faced in Game 2. Yoshi is the first player to complete back-to-back complete games in the postseason since the D-backs Curt Schilling in 2001. And on top of that, he's the first pitcher to throw a complete game in the World Series since 1988. So I knew he looked good against the Brewers, but I know the Brewers were struggling in that series, and I was kind of skeptical if he could recreate it, especially coming off of that game where the Toronto put up 11. And he did just that. He kind of battled through. Again, it sounds weird, but more impressively for me is the fact that they're not even complete game shutouts. He battles through adversity there. He's given up runs, but he still is able to lock in, finish that game, and, again, that's a big vulnerability for LA is their bullpen. So for him to be able to just go out there and shut them down and not even need the bullpen and save your elite arms for when you really need it, that's just super valuable to your team, to your manager, and everyone. So that's why he is our top performer from this weekend. And on top of that, sneaky shout out to Addison Barger, first pinch hit, grand slam in World Series history. That's pretty amazing. I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't glaze him a little bit for that. Now let's take a look ahead at Game 3 tonight. Kicking off our action today at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, we have the Blue Jays taking on the Dodgers on Fox. This one will be out in LA as the Dodgers host their first World Series game this year. Max Scherzer on the bump versus Tyler Glasnow. In one outing versus LA this year, Scherzer gave up 2 runs across 6 innings. He has a 3.26 World Series ERA across 4 starts. And Glasnow gave up 2 runs across 5.2 innings in an outing this year. Glasnow hasn't pitched in the World Series since 2020, but has a career 9.64 ERA across 2 World Series starts. One thing to really look out for in this one, neither guy goes too deep into games, so bullpens will most likely be a factor in this one. So I expect some big scoring late, some fireworks late, and should be an exciting one. Again, the series is tied 1-1, so the winner tonight will take a 2-1 advantage in the World Series. That's everything from Monday's show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm really excited for that Game 3 tonight. Let me know in the comments who you guys think is going to take this one, take a series lead. We'll be back with you guys for another show tomorrow morning, recapping Game 3 and getting you guys ready for Game 4. If you're enjoying the content, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share if you're enjoying it. And if you're on Spotify, please follow along, comment, and or share with another baseball fan. So thank you guys again. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy Game 3 tonight. See ya.